Okay, so today we're diving into a topic that I think for most businesses is just a logistical headache. We're talking about corporate transportation. It's often seen as this unnecessary expense, right? A line item to get someone from point A to point B.
And that's exactly the mindset that our source material today says is holding companies back. We're unpacking an executive guide that, honestly, it completely reframes this whole conversation.
Oh, interesting. How so?
It argues that high-end transportation, especially for your executives and your clients, isn't just a cost. It needs to be treated as a quantifiable business strategy.
A strategy.
Yes. It's about more than just movement. It's about efficiency. It's about professionalism and, projecting the right corporate image.
So our mission for you, the learner, is to pull out the strategic knowledge from this guide. Now, the source is pretty specific. It focuses on corporate travel in the Ontario, California area.
Right. So it's dealing with things like the local airport, the business hubs there.
Hmm.
But the principles are, well, they're universal.
Exactly. So the real question we want to answer is, how do you turn this thing you have to do travel into a genuine competitive advantage?
And we've got material that covers, everything from operational efficiency to fleet economics. The big insight is that when you formalize this,
Yeah.
you stop just, paying random costs. You start investing in a predictable asset.
Okay, let's unpack that core idea then. Transportation as a strategic advantage.
I like that the guide doesn't really pull any punches. It says this is not just transit. It's about maximizing every single business moment.
Maximization is the word. The guide outlines three really clear goals. One, improve productivity. Two, dramatically reduce travel stress.
And 3 must be the image.
And 3, visibly elevate the company's image. And if the service you're using doesn't hit all 3, it's not strategic. It's just a ride.
I hear the benefits, but let me just play devil's advocate for a second. For a smaller company, maybe a mid-sized one, the sticker shock of a premium service might seem, a bit much.
That's a critical point, and the guide actually tackles it head on.
It compares the total cost of ownership of 2 different scenarios. Scenario 1 is the ad hoc way, using different apps, chasing down receipts, dealing with variable quality.
That's actual chaos. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And scenario 2 is the formalized premium service. And they found the cost effectiveness isn't just the image boost. It's the saved administrative time. And this is crucial, the elimination of executive downtime from bad logistics.
So it's not about the car, it's about the time that the car buys you back.
Exactly. And that all starts with what the guide calls the planning mandate. The first step to reducing stress is just absolute reliability.
So what does that look like in practice? What does a professional service do that a normal taxi or rideshare just can't?
It's all about anticipating problems. First, you schedule way in advance, not the night before. Second, every route is pre-mapped. They often have backup routes ready to go.
Okay.
But the real game changer, especially with airports, is the monitoring. The chauffeurs are watching real-time flight data, traffic data, potential delays. They're not just, checking an app once in a while.
That real-time awareness is the key. It's proactive, not reactive. You mentioned Ontario International Airport, ONT.
Mm-hmm.
So if a flight lands, say, 45 minutes early, that service already knows the car is there. The executive doesn't have to make a call from the tarmac.
That's the level of responsiveness we're talking about. It completely removes that stress of, am I going to miss my connection? Or how long am I going to have to wait? And that frees up so much mental energy.
Speaking of mental energy, that brings us to the next section, which for me was the real aha moment, leveraging travel time for actual productivity.
The mobile workspace.
Right. How do you actually turn a car ride from wasted minutes into real focused work time?
Well, it's about what's engineered into the vehicle. It's way more than just having Wi-Fi. The source points to 3 non-negotiables. 1, secure high-speed Wi-Fi.
Okay, that's a given.
2, charging ports everywhere for all your devices. And 3, this is the most important one, quiet, acoustically optimized interiors. The Wi-Fi is useless if you can't actually concentrate.
The environment has to support deep work. And that gets into confidentiality, doesn't it? Something you definitely don't have in the back of a typical rideshare.
Absolutely. The guide says the vehicle has to be treated like a temporary, secure office. This lets an executive take, say, a highly confidential call, a merger, a personnel issue, whatever.
Without worrying about who's listening.
Or a bad connection.
Yeah.
They can review documents they'd never risk opening on a public network.
And the outcome of that is huge. Your professional arrives at the meeting not frazzled from driving or stressed about logistics. They arrive prepared, focused, and ready to go.
Exactly. It sends a message of respect for everyone's time. You've turned 2 or 3 hours of commuting into productive work. The time isn't just saved, It's converted into real output.
Let's shift to the external message then. Professional impressions, the visual strategy. Arriving in an executive car, that sends a signal.
It's a proxy for your company's values. The guide links logistics directly to trust. A punctual arrival says you're reliable. A premium vehicle says you're committed to quality.
And if your transportation is a mess, if the car is late or the client doesn't know where to go, that creates doubt. It makes them wonder how you manage your actual business.
It creates what the guide calls negative operational friction. And this is never more important than with air travel, especially at a busy airport like Ontario International, which the source uses as a kind of case study.
So what are the specifics? What does a high-level service do at an airport like ONT to get rid of that friction?
The focus has to be on personal door-to-door coordination. So that means mandatory flight tracking. The car is there when the plane lands, early or late.
No excuses.
No excuses. And they provide dedicated meet and greet services. Someone is there waiting for you to handle luggage, to guide you out of the terminal. It just eliminates that whole rental car parking headache.
And I can only imagine how crucial that becomes when you're moving a whole group. That's exponentially more complex.
Oh, absolutely. For team travel, it's all about centralized scheduling and coordinated pickups, using spacious vans or SUVs so the team can travel together.
And maybe even work together on the way.
Potentially, yes. But the key is that everyone stays on the exact same timetable. It's a huge stress relief for whoever is planning the event or the retreat.
Which brings us to the operational side. Section 4, tailored solutions and discretion. This is where you really separate a premium service from just, any old ride.
The key is flexibility, but with guaranteed standards. So the services are tailored for specific needs. You have your executive airport transfers, your client meetings where appearance is everything, logistics for big corporate events.
And those complex team travel itineraries with multiple stops.
Exactly. But the non-negotiables are safety, reliability, and especially discretion.
Okay, let's talk about discretion. What does the guide say about the training that's required to actually guarantee that?
It has to be a contractual guarantee, not just an assumption. The chauffeurs, they're not just drivers, they're logistical professionals. They go through serious background checks and training in corporate etiquette, and most importantly, confidentiality.
So if an executive is on that sensitive merger call you mentioned?
The chauffeur understands their role is silence and privacy. They treat that conversation with the same protection as an in-office assistant would.
Right.
And that, combined with perfectly maintained vehicles, elevates the service from a commodity to a trusted partner. It's like an extension of your own company's infrastructure.
That sets us up for Section 5, which I think is the most strategically dense part of this. Strategic accounts. Why is setting up a formal corporate account so much better than just booking on demand?
This is where you move from tactics to strategy. A formal account gives you advantages that they scale over time.
And it's more than just a discount, right?
Yeah.
What are the big advantages the guide points out?
So first is priority booking. During peak season, or if there's a big event in town, account holders get first dibs on the fleet. You're never left scrambling.
That's a huge insurance policy, really. What's number 2?
Centralized and flexible billing. This is a big one. Instead of every employee submitting their own receipts, all the costs go through one system. It saves the accounting department a massive amount of time.
That's the hidden cost of travel management, all that admin time.
It absolutely is. And the third advantage is access to dedicated account managers. And data.
Data.
Yes. Your account manager learns your company's patterns. Which routes you use most, which executives travel, what kind of vehicle is needed for what purpose. And the data lets you analyze your spending and fine-tune your travel policy based on real metrics.
So you're turning travel data into actionable policy. That's the leap from just expensing rides to having a true travel strategy.
It allows you to calculate the actual return on investment for the service instead of just guessing.
So to pull it all together, the guide offers a kind of checklist, some expert tips for smarter travel. Let's run through those.
Yep, it's basically the 5-step roadmap.
Number 1, confirm the itinerary in advance. That's the foundation for reducing stress.
Number 2, leverage travel time as work time. Treat that vehicle like your office.
3, match the vehicle to your team size. Keep it practical and professional.
4, use corporate accounts for your recurring trips. That's your path to efficiency and better financial control.
And finally, number 5, rely on professional chauffeurs for discretion and safety, the non-negotiable part.
And that really synthesizes the core idea. Corporate travel is not something you just budget for. When you manage it professionally, it becomes a strategic asset, a premium experience that reinforces your brand.
And bringing it back to the source's local context, using services that really understand the flow of business in a place like Ontario, California, that proves these principles work on the ground.
Which leaves us with one final provocative thought for you to reflect on, and it's drawn from that idea of centralization. Ask yourself, what specific parts of your current travel logistics, really think about the billing, the last-minute bookings, the lack of data, where is the friction right now? And how quickly could a centralized resource, like a corporate account, turn those problems into a strategic advantage for your company?
That is a powerful question to end on. And for you, the learner, if you want to see the source material from the guide, including all the operational details and contact info, we will make sure those resources are available. Travel smarter, arrive prepared, and make every single mile count.